everything.
Well, it's much easier to lie to people than convince them that they've been lied to. And still, today, after 4 years, people are refusing to accept that they've been lied. And what is your opinion? How now things will change? Because they are still refusing. They say still, well, it's much easier to say it was a huge pandemic, people died from COVID, than to say, look, they were lying to us, and that's why we were part of this lie.
Well, you know, people are waking up. They really are. And so it's not like people have woke up and now they're going back to sleep. It feels like that sometimes, but that's not the case. That's, again, it's hard to know really what's happening at a societal level if our only window to the world is a screen. I have the ability to bring people into my studio, interview them, policymakers, medicine makers, and people who write the books on social behavior. And according to all of them, they're all seeing truly a great awakening. They're seeing people wake up. And unfortunately, they're waking up because they're having what we call direct experience now. So it's one thing to hear and to sense that something's going on. And it's another thing to have myocarditis. It's another thing to have your 25-year-old son drop dead on a football field. It's another thing to have 4 members of your family suddenly have strokes or heart attacks. And so these things are happening at record rates. It's another thing to have all the females in your life that are pretty much sterile at this point, that are having miscarriages left and right. You know, people remember enough to know, like, this is not normal. We've never experienced this before. And so they're starting to say, I think maybe these crazy people had something. Maybe they were onto something, because I'm now starting to see it in my environment, my neighbors, and it's very unfortunate. I wish people, you know, would have listened in 2020 and not done this, because it's still painful for me to see and to meet, as I travel around the United States and abroad, to have people come up to me who will say, thank you for what you've done. I listened and I didn't get the vaccine, and my husband didn't listen. And he's in the hospital now, and I think he's got about a year to live. And or mothers crying, saying, I vaccinated my child and they're not the same, and I don't know what's going on. And you know, it just, you know, I hold my precious boys every single day, and I just think, what parents, so many parents are going through right now, so many family members are going through with loved ones, of knowing that one little decision that they made. And I've had a lot of people tell me it was just simply like I couldn't go see my mom, who was in the hospital, unless I got vaccinated. And so to see my mom before she died of COVID, we thought, I had to get vaccinated, and now I'm sick. And or I was in the military and I had to I didn't know what to do, or so many people, I had to keep my job, or I had to travel back home to see my grandparent, whatever it is. It's all these things that they use to coerce people. Like, if you want to have a normal life, you got to do what we say. You know, and now as a result, these poor people are dealing with this, and we've not seen the worst of it. We haven't. A lot of doctors said in 2020 this could take up to 5 years before we start to see the results of what's actually in the bloodstream, and we're starting to see that now.
Yes, we are also in Croatia witnessing there is a lot of sudden deaths, and nobody, of course, is mentioning vaccine status. I'm checking whatever is famous people who died suddenly. I check, and all of them took vaccines minimum 2 to 3 times. But nobody is asking that. Nobody wants to get the vaccine status. And just 3 years ago, you couldn't go anywhere without